Hello, hello, welcome. All right, we're on the weekend and we're going to be talking about the 3.6 patch. We're going to be talking a little bit about the whole Dia debacle. I think we're towards the end of it now. Finally, this whole thing that started even before the patch dropped is finally coming to an end close to a month later. I think this is really going to be the last push the Dia mains are going to make. Which is fine, right? I think let the people work on what they have to work on, because if they don't get it out of their systems, you guys are never going to hear the end of it, right? And I believe when Yoimiya first came out, it was something similar to this as well. When Yoimiya first came out, a lot of people believe she to be like one of the more terrible units that Hoyoverse has put out to date. At the time, a lot of pressure was put on her being compared to Hu Tao directly, even because at the time Yoimiya and Hu Tao were like the only definitive pyro on-field carries. I mean, even now they are pretty much the only ones that are considered by most players to be viable options. But after, I would say, Dia's release, it's pretty much evident that Hoyoverse has very strict guidelines, I guess, is that good, as to what character can perform in what type of role, and they're very sparingly releasing characters that fill a more generally populous role. It's good to assume that Dia, no matter what happens, whether she doesn't get a buff or she does get a buff, is still going to remain within her role category, which is this like weird, smoldering off-field, defensive, hybrid, DPS, unique pyro applicator type of character that scales off of defense, or what was it, like elemental mastery. Does she scale off of defense? I completely forgot. I think she had this weird scaling, like a double scaling, or at some point even triple scaling. If you can, I think she still benefits from some attack. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a little bit of attack can still help her here and there. Defense, and then there's EM and all that stuff, or was it HP? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, HP. Yeah. It's HP, EM, and then attack all helps her here and there. And also when you get her to C1, different parts of her scaling becomes more active. It's just a mess of a character. Oops, forgot about my my camera here. There you go. It's just a mess of a character currently, so we don't have much to go off of when it comes to Dia. Like I said in yesterday's video or today's video, the review section for characters has always been out. It's never like this is not like just a Dia exclusive thing. I think what originally happened was people pointed that out, saying, hey, there's a section in the feedback. If you do want Dia to be buffed, or do you do want to voice your concerns for Dia, leave them in that section, right? And they were simply just pointing it out. They're saying there's a section here that has this, but then what some people took it as was like, oh my goodness, they released a specific feedback section just for Dia. And that's when the hopium and to some degree confusion started, which was people started to spread the news that Hoyoverse is potentially buffing Dia because they released a special Dia section in the feedback. So it means that they care. When in actuality, what happened was that that section had always been there for every single feedback. So every time Hoyoverse asks for your feedback, there has been a character section. It's just this time people are blowing it out of proportion because some people, especially the ones who don't do the feedback every single patch, comes across this and thinks, oh wow, Hoyoverse cares. So don't let that fool you. This is not to say that Hoyoverse is not going to make any changes if there's an overwhelming amount of negativity in those feedbacks, but I could totally see them just brushing it off, like just pretending like they don't see it. Where can I see the character feedback? If you go do the survey that they send out in the email, I believe, not the email, in your mail in game, you should be able to see the. You should be able to see there's a section that asks for character feedback. Spooky Cat, Yoimiya isn't terrible from the TC point of view. The only character that TC have actually called terrible is Dia, which is what makes her different from Yoimiya, because Yoi was doom posted. Yeah, there's a I know that's true. There's a difference between people doom posting a character and then actually a character coming out and underperforming, right? I don't want to say that Yoimiya was underperforming, but comparative to what was otherwise available, she was. If that makes sense. If you compare her to Hu Tao, she was underperforming because the difference between them back at C0 was just a little too far. Once you get them up constellations though, as you approach C6, that curve kind of bends backwards and into Yoimiya's favor. So all in all, I do think that when it comes to Yoimiya's performance, she did kind of get better over time as well, right? So we do have to understand that like for most of these characters, when they first came out and we thought they were bad, or well, people said they were just not up to par, they did all end up becoming more developed in time. See what you guys are talking about. Ooh, there's quite a bit of you here suddenly. Lean says, "Hey Walrus, how are you, man? I'm doing good. Saturday, you know, just here chilling. Excited for the next patch for sure. If you guys are not excited after playing through 3.5, I don't know what you should be excited for. We can talk a little bit about 3.6, what you could expect, as well as for newer players, what's the next move, and for players who are building their accounts, what is likely even beyond 3.7. I mean 3.6 into 3.7, 3.8, right? I'm pretty sure most of you guys here started playing sometime around patch 2 point something. Am I correct in assuming that? Patch 2 point something, 2.1, 2.3, 2.5. I think there's a large amount of people who started in around 2 point something. Okay, there might be a couple 3 point something people. But from my experience, most of the people who are here chilling usually started around patch 2 point something. There are definitely patch 1 point something people here, but you guys are like the boomers of Genshin Impact. You're the Gen 1 players of Genshin Impact. So the reason I'm asking for people here is that depending on when you started the game, your account is probably developed to a certain point, and I'm not going to assume everybody from 1.0 is going to need this, or everybody from 2.0 needs this. Personally, I am a patch 1.0 player. I've whaled here and there for characters, so my account is most likely accelerated beyond some people's accounts. But I've seen people who started in Inazuma who is AR60 who has better like built teams than me. And the reason for that is they have highly focused on specific characters and team comps to the point where they've gotten like C1, C2, they've gotten their limited weapons, they've farmed artifacts since they could, and they never stopped, right? And so the characters of those players are just insanely jacked up, and they've never not been able to 36 star the Abyss. It's always been a breeze for them, right? And they're still continuously developing teams. And to them, the threshold for a completed team is much higher than, for example, me. Let's say for me, level 80 with decent artifacts, I'm good. My team is done. But for them, it has to be level 90 with best constellations available. Not C6 R5, but they're like, okay, we want the most high value constellations. If it's C1, then they'll get C1. They'll get the 5-star weapon, and then they'll max out the artifacts to like a degree where it's just like for DPS characters, they're getting like 70+% crit rate with 270% crit damage or something crazy like that. There are those players, right? So understand that there's a bunch of different type of players all around us, and the advice that I'm giving is more generalistic for people who want to have just an easier time playing the game, right? You don't like, it's like you don't need to be this player that I mentioned earlier to to be able to crush the game. But at the same time, if you are also a player who constantly strive for like what I have right now, which is like, okay, this is decent, this is fine, as long as I'm, you know, finding it okay, I'm not struggling, then it's okay. You might not also find this to be comfortable. So usually the advice I give is between these two areas. I give advice that like I know I should be doing, but I don't do it because I keep buying my way out of my problems. You know, my comments 1341 says I subbed 1 minute ago. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. But yeah, let's talk about 3.6, right? Because I think a lot of people here are curious about Baiju, curious about what was the Cave, and then we have 3.7, which currently nobody knows what's coming in 3.7. There's speculations, right? Of course, of people saying reruns for Eula, reruns for Nahida is really a hot topic right now, because people have noticed that every time after 4 patches, when they release the Archon, they rerun them 4 patches later. I don't know why I said it like that. It was like a weird wording, but my point is every 4 patches after the Archon's initial release, they end up rerunning that Archon. It's been a trend since forever. So yeah, let's start there. Okay, so the reason I think most people should get a Nahida is because I don't think this is the end development for Dendro just yet. If you guys notice that there's a whole section of Dendro which called Burning Inversion, which is still considered underdeveloped, and since it's underdeveloped, a lot of people are calling it trash and garbage, right? Even theory crafters, I believe, are saying Burning is probably the worst out of the Dendro reactions. And that is, in my honest, humble opinion, due to a lack of development. What does that mean? That means that HoYoverse is still going to continue working on the Burning and Virgin reaction over the next few months, if even like a year to come. They might devote their attention to something else because Dendro currently has these amazing Electro and Hydro based reactions, but that doesn't mean they're gonna completely forgo Burning, right? And if you guys have watched my previous videos, I've said Burning is a foundation for future Melt meta. That hasn't changed. So whenever they develop Melt, they're likely going to develop Burning in correspondence with that. Now, talking about 3.6, the reason why I think it's worth your attention looking into, if you don't have a Nahida, looking into getting one or getting a Baiju, is because I think Nahida is a great cornerstone into accessing like some of the most free-to-play friendly comps in the game. I hesitated in saying that, but I do think that there's going to be very little people disagreeing with that statement, right? With Nahida, she applies probably the most consistent and the largest AoE of Dendro. Now, if you are getting by with Kale and you're like, I'm fine with my Kale, I'm fine with my Dendro MC, I don't have any means or needs for Nahida, that's also fine. The problem though with Dendro MC and Kale is that their range is so limited that it heavily restricts how you can play the game. That could start becoming a problem as the game continues to develop and HoYoverse starts punishing people who don't have Nahida. Now, how do they usually punish players? They do it through like these really weird mechanics or mob positioning in Spiral Abyss. Let's say if they spawn 4 different mobs in the 4 different like north, south, west, east corners of the room, and then like these mobs have some range on them as well, your Kale and your whatever is your Kale and your Dendro MC is not going to be able to help you anymore. Like in that situation, they're severe. Obviously, it's not going to be that extreme because that's too on the nose. HoYoverse makes it a point to punish you without making it feel like they're punishing you. They make you feel uncomfortable, but they don't make you feel any sort of like pain, if that makes any sense. They try to make the game a little more annoying here and there if you don't have certain characters, which I think is fair game, honestly. But and other games does this much worse, right? There are live service games that requires you to pull characters, develop them, and max them out, and then the next patch they nerf them. and these characters also cost like $1,000 or something like that if you want to max them out like on release. So like let's not kid ourselves in saying that Genshin and Hoyoverse is just pure evil in forcing people. No, I wouldn't say so. There are games that are far worse, but Hoyoverse definitely leverages comfort of gameplay against those who have not invested into the more modern characters, right? I don't know about that extreme power creep. Yeah, there's other games that just have absurd power creep. But nowadays, I think a lot of the companies have noticed that the Western players really don't like that. Now, CN players don't necessarily like that, but there's a lot of giga whales in CN that keeps the bills paid for those gaming companies, so they turn a blind eye and they just keep power creeping. So if you live in China and if you play the Chinese servers of some games like Tower of Fantasy, you'll never see the end of it, right? You can build a character and there'll be crap the very next patch, or like 2 patches from then. You get to enjoy it for like a month. It's like a rented character, rented happiness. Gone are the days where you can build one character and enjoy it till the server closes. No. Like you at best they'll give you 3 months, right? You can enjoy it for like 25% of the year. A quarter of the year you can enjoy this, and then we're gonna make it like not meta, and then we will release a new character which you have to spend another $1,000 on to feel the same kind of joy. So yeah, back to Genshin. I don't know why we took that dark, grim tangent, but back to Genshin. Nahida is going to be that character that carries a lot of your lower level teams. And I cannot stress enough the importance of just picking one up. There's a lot of people who are stubborn. I know there's people who specifically play this game in weird restrictions, saying I'm never gonna play an Archon, or I'm never gonna play Hydro characters because Archons are too OP. Hydro is the best element, so they're gonna make a point by beating the game and playing the game exclusively with no Archons and no Hydro characters. And then there's people who's like, oh, I don't ever want to play bow characters. I don't play Catalyst characters. There are people who never levels their weapons above level 50, right? There are people who keeps all their talents at level 1. All these players exist. You guys might think, oh, Walrus, that sounds kind of crazy, but I'm telling you guys, all these people exist. They're the outliers, right? Don't follow suit with that. Just for the love of God, pull Nahida. You don't know when she's coming back next. After these 4 patches, she might come back after 9 more patches. She might come back after a year and a half, right? You don't know. Drip Skylark says, now that I think about it, how can burning be a segue to melt when no one is applying enough Dendro off-field except Nahida? You see, Drip, that's exactly my point. That's why more Dendro characters are going to come out that applies good enough Dendro off-field. Right? So that's, if you think about why melt isn't meta yet, you pretty much just hit the nail right on the head there, which is because right now there's such a lack of roster for characters that can actually utilize that properly, right? Think of Vaporize. Even though the best in slot Vaporize is pretty much done by just one character, well, now 2, which is Xingqiu and Yelan, but people have found other creative ways to play Vaporize teams, like Tartaglia, right, can Vaporize as well. Tartaglia international teams, the basis is also Vaporize. Ayato can also play around with Vaporize if you want, but although he's a better freeze in my opinion character. And then there's what's her name again, Nilou. Also, people have tried to play Nilou Vaporize. It's shown that it can work here and there, but there are plenty of ways to synergize with Vaporize. It's a very well developed reaction in terms of a player knowledge. Melt really doesn't work, right? We run into issues with ICD, we run into issue with application, we run into issues with like proper sequencing, meaning like which one comes first, and how, like reverse melt or just forward melt. All this stuff is not clearly defined yet. And with traditional characters, just cryo and pyro characters, they just don't seem to get along very well. Having a mediator such as the Dendro element is allowed for a little more consistency for the application. And then now we also need a cryo character who can take advantage of that, and more Dendro characters who can apply this in different forms. Nahida applies a mark on the enemies, which ticks. But what if I want some sort of AoE, right? Like what if I want more area focused Dendro application? Who knows? Baizhu might be able to provide that for us, right? And then the patch after that, maybe in 3.7, we're going to be getting a new cryo character, and everybody's like, oh my god, another freeze character. But psych, that might be our first melt character. Who knows? This is still work in progress, both for Hoyoverse and for the players. Of course, theory crafters are just working day and night trying to figure out what the hell's going on at MiHoYo headquarters in CN. Sophia M says, I want Nahida, but I want Kazuha more. I'm saving till his rerun. Like, Kazuha is certainly a very important character to have in your roster as well. But when it comes to modern Genshin Impact, there's no denying that Nahida's usage is just far surpassing most other characters. I mean, I wouldn't say she's leaps and bounds beyond Kazuha when it comes to usage rate. I think they're actually quite similar, quite close. But Nahida just edges out by, I believe, like an extra 10% or so when it comes to meta players, right? So if you're not non-meta player, or if you're like a semi-meta player, you're not going to really notice the difference between how important they are. But what I've come to notice is that elemental teams just aren't as prevalent as when they used to dominate the meta. So you think of most Kazuha teams, I haven't used a Kazuha team in the Spiral Abyss for the last 2 to 3 abysses. And personally, I could if I wanted to, but I just because I've used Kazuha elemental teams with Kazuha in them for so damn long that it's a great change of pace for me. I've been really enjoying Hu Tao again, and then on one half, and then playing my Dendro teams in the other half. Sareen is asking, doesn't that effectively nerf Melt though, if it can only be played with Dendro? Well, Sareen, yes and no, alright? So, yes, it does nerf Melt in the sense that it severely lacks its potential for synergy with other characters. It won't be as free of a reaction as Vaporize is, but that's the trade-off. Like, my opinion here, again, this is my opinion, I'm not sharing leaks or anything. My opinion is how they're going to develop Melt in that fashion is that Melt is going to be like a slower hitting reaction, but it hits for far larger number. If that makes sense, it's a much harder hit, but it hits slower. You could, of course, hit fast as well. It's just then you're going to end up in a Yoimiya situation where every like 3rd and 5th attack will end up melting. But in exchange for that, you get to leverage the EM from Dendro characters, EM sharing. So as you look at Melt Ganyu, why does Melt Ganyu, the best variation of her, run with Nahida? Right, think about that for a second. Is to leverage EM into buffing the Melt reaction even beyond its like two times multiplier. So in theory, Melt will just hit like higher numbers than Vaporize. That's just how it's going to work if you bring in Dendro. So what you lose, you make up in return for more scaling, higher scaling, more damage, like better screenshots. Right? So that's like one of the things I think it makes sense if they do it like this, because they take away our flexibility, but they raise the ceiling for us in return. And also think about it like this. This helps Hoyoverse sell more characters and also allow players to include more characters in their team's rosters to have more variance, if that makes sense. I hope that answered your question. Like, this is like a solution that both benefits Hoyoverse and also benefits the player. Gordum says, hi Walrus, what's up my friend? Welcome, welcome. We're just talking about 3.6, Baizhu, Kaveh, we're talking about Nahida, potentially rerunning the importance of Nahida comparative to some of the other 5-star characters, and moving forward, talking about Melt and how that will be developed, and then just chilling, and we're going to do some account reviews after these topics are all done. Reverse Melt and Reverse Vape are both times 1.5 though. Yeah, and they like both of them are. I mean, not both of them. Reverse Vaporize is meta in some different teams. It's just that people think that 1.5 is a huge damage loss, but in actuality, it's made up for usually in the extra attacks that the characters have done. Change your name to Erotic Weenut. That's actually funny. That's actually funny. I'll think about it. Our account reviews, I'm not gonna say that name because Giga. Our account reviews random or people who donate. No. Account reviews are usually channel members or just viewers who watch the content and then they DM me on Discord to ask for an account review. That's what it. That's how it's done. Anime Holocaust as well as I'm also here waiting. Yep. So if you guys recognize this account, this is not my account. This is the account we will be reviewing later. So for the person who wants the account reviewed, you can also ask me question directly in Discord because oftentimes I'm just hovering the account, taking a look at it and giving my input, even though sometimes you might have specific things you want me to look at and give advice to, right? So I would appreciate if you can give me something to go off of. What do you really want to look at for these accounts? For this account, I mean, and how should we proceed to give? I see the Ayaka Freeze team, which is a really solid team. It's not as good as it used to be, mostly because right now the Spiral Abyss doesn't really favor this kind of playstyle. It's to be expected. Will it ever come back into popularity? I'm sure it will when Freeze kind of gets revisited, but that may take a while because there's so much lined up for Hoyoverse to do that Freeze is probably like not even on the list. That's how like, I mean, that also points to how good Freeze is. Oh, you can't even, right? That just points to how good of a reaction Freeze is, to the point where Hoyoverse probably doesn't even have anything they want to do with it. Thunderpreet says, just pulled Shinha for my Ayaka. Yep, Mono Cryo is still definitely like a team with super high ceiling, but most of you guys won't be able to access that ceiling because you need high constellation on both Ayaka and Shinha. So for the short little while, most people are not going to have access to that. Giga says, looking good lately. You got any laser done? You mean LASIK for my eyes? No, haven't had any procedures done. Rocking that all natural, baby. Well, maybe I should go get a haircut. Winter is pretty much over here, starting to move into spring, right? So maybe I should cut my hair, start anew. Depressed Wampa says, are you excited for Baiju at all, Wars? You would not believe how excited I am for Baiju. I'm pretty much all in for the Dendro hype train. I think Dendro is such a great way to welcome new players into the game. If you guys don't know, I am also in full belief that Hoyoverse made Dendro the way it is because they are aware of the amount of new players that are pouring into Genshin Impact, and they want to give the new players something to go off of and don't have to like build teams and take months to progress to endgame with more traditional teams, right? So it's great that they have Dendro now, meaning that from now till the end of the server, anybody who comes into the game can always start their account with Dendro and then build to other teams, more traditional teams, once they got a good foothold with Dendro within the game. Such a smart move, and I urge everybody to have at least 1 or 2 Dendro teams just chilling around. If it, like, one, for the fact that they might just go back to Dendro and be like, oh, suddenly Dendro's meta again. Let's say 2 years from now, after we are like at the end of Natlan, maybe they're gonna, which is gonna likely incentivize a lot of Pyro playstyle, like Mono Pyro probably is developed by then, and then there's gonna be great Vaporize, new Vaporize teams, gonna be new like melt teams that are playable. Burning version is also going to be very prevalent, and then they might revisit the Dendro meta, stuff like that. I don't know. Having a Dendro team chilling is always going to have, like, it's cheap investment. That's why I think everybody should do it. I don't think Dendro will leave the meta. Like, it's not to say that it's going to be bad, but it's just not going to be as incentivized to play. It's still going, like, there's definitely still going to be players who are playing it. Like, don't get me wrong, definitely 100%. But at the same time, we gotta like be aware that, you know, things comes and goes in Genshin Impact. Nothing becomes permanent. Yeah, like Tokyo says, they might knock you down like Cryo. Exactly. They might just bring it down a little bit and then give other reactions some spotlight. So look at the meta stuff that we have right now and potentially in the future. We have Vaporize, right? Vaporize, we have Anemo. They need to keep in check. Constantly they need to keep that in check, because if they ever throw in a bunch of mobs into Spiral Abyss 12, Morgana is always on the horizon, right? Morgana is always just waiting on the side. That team has never gone anywhere. It's just always waiting for its opportunity to come back and strike again. So some of the more popular free-to-play teams that have been very consistent throughout all metas and iterations is Raiden National and Tartaglia International, right? So these two teams are always very consistent. So for people who also want something that is of permanence, Tartaglia, that's why, is like a really sound character for a lot of people to get. It might sound weird that people like Walrus Tartaglia, but no, it's true. You would not believe how often people have kind of leaned towards Tartaglia International to clear certain DPS checks. He's a very traditional character in the sense that he was released in patch 1.2 or 1.1 or something like that, right? And that you guys really, a lot of you guys never really seen the ups and downs of Tartaglia as a character. But nowadays he's pretty much solidified. By even theory crafters, I would say, would give him a lot of credit when it comes to how important he is as a foundation for powerful team comp. Mr. Worldwide. Yeah, he's really good. Charm Chaos has got to go. Look forward to the post. 18. Oh, later. I said 18R. All right, give me a break. I'm a boomer. I'm a boomer. But yeah. Let's see. Tokyo says, I personally find him tough to play. Tartaglia needs a lot of investment. That's what a lot of people don't usually give him the investment. We'll find is that the character feels like he's too punishing. But if you heavily invested into Tartaglia, I'm talking like at least 15,000 resin. Sounds about right. Maybe more, give or take. Then you'll have a Tartaglia that's worthy of bringing into every Spiral Abyss. Anime Holic says, okay, Discord sent you some instructions for the account review. Okay, perfect. That's going to help a lot. So for this account, they want to okay. They started in patch 2.0, and they want to look at the teams, mainly like to focus on building this account in the future, because yeah, you'll see that I have a lot on this account. Okay, and look at Ayaka, Keqing, Ganyu, and Yai. Account is 20 months old and struggled to clear 36 Abyss. Been able to do it once in 3.1. Have not come close since. Hover around 33 to 35 in most Abyss rotations. So sounds like you are lacking damage, like just raw damage, and I can guarantee you this Cryo team is not going to have enough damage considering you're using a free-to-play weapon, and I'm guessing your characters are at C0, right? 0, 0, 0. Oh no, Keqing is at 2. 0, 0, 0. Yeah, so all C0. So what's happening here is you're like I haven't taken a look yet, but my guess just off the top of my head is like you're just lacking in raw DPS, right? You haven't constructed any teams that are of extreme scaling to take advantage of that and power through during those incredibly difficult DPS checks that you're bound to see if you want to get that 36 star Abyss. It doesn't have to be both teams. Oftentimes, you'll just have one team that's cracked to the teeth with DPS. So, like you mentioned Ganyu, right? You do have the 5-star bow. Let's take a look at her stats. 56 to 40, right? Like, so crit damage is a bit low, and you do have Nahida, which is good. You could potentially run Ganyu Melt. She does do insane DPS. Now looking at Xiangling, yeah, they said look at Xiangling because you wouldn't believe this is how long they've played the game. 20-month-old account, Xiangling is at C1. That is truly unfortunate. So that's another avenue that you are definitely lacking. Having C4 Xiangling is really good for consistency in pyro application, right? Let's see your Hu Tao. Unfortunately, no. I think Hu Tao is also usable, but do you have Zhongli? Good. Do you have Yelan? You do. And I'm assuming you have Xingqiu. Okay. I honestly, this is not my bias speaking, but this is just, all right, my honest opinion. When it comes to a crutch that you can lean on when you fail DPS checks, Hu Tao is probably one of the easier characters to master. All right, again, yes, she does have to jump cancel, especially at C0. With Dragon's Bane, you're also lacking a lot of potential scaling and damage, but jump canceling with Yelan Xingqiu, alright, your Yelan has a Favonius Warbow, I'm guessing C0 as well, that's fine. And you have Zhongli. You can run Mono Cryo on one team, and then you can run Hu Tao on the other team, and put Hu Tao on the team where you can see if you can crush through the DPS check. For example, Weenut may or may not like may or may not, Hu Tao may or may not be able to help you with that. Reverse, not reverse, Melt Ganyu could also maybe try to beat that, but I think it's going to be pretty tough. I think, for example, Ayaka struggles because her DPS cycles, I can guarantee you will not get her DPS, like her burst back in time to take advantage of every opening the Weenut gives you. This character is just, it's awkward to say this because she's such a great DPS character overall. It's just that her burst has like really high cost, right? 80 cost burst. I'm happy to see you triple crown her. But your energy recharge is 129.8. You're just not gonna generate enough particles. Is he running the Favonius? Yes, he is. And you got double. I don't think even double Favonius is enough to get her back. And remember, another problem with her is that her cooldown is 20 seconds. So you're always playing around a minimum 20-second cooldown window, meaning that if the Weenut like comes out and you might, like, by God's grace, you have enough particles to use her burst, you might not have the 20-second cooldown. Right? So this is also some, let's say if her burst was 10 seconds, this character would be much more consistent. The problem is her high cost burst plus the long cooldown makes her, like, you need to be very careful when and how you use her burst. And yes, when you use it well, it just chunks the enemy. But if you mess up, right, and make sure you're applying like max amount of quails, you take advantage of the first few hits with Shinhe quails, and then you use her burst. You use Ayaka burst, get off the field, get Shinhe back on, use the quills again, and the quills will reapply to her burst even though she is off field, if that makes sense. So there are some of these little intricacies to maximize her damage a little more, take advantage of that window. But unfortunately, the Weenut is not a boss that is gonna let you just take advantage of it like that, because it has a very short window where you can dish out as much damage as you can. And if you miss that window to kill it, Ayaka will not have that burst back for the next time the Weenut shows up, because the Weenut shows up every like 10-12 seconds or something like that. So like your burst, there's no way it's back. So then you're just gonna rely on raw damage. So characters that have like Hu Tao's elemental infusion has a 16-second cooldown, right? With a duration of 9 seconds. So this skill has a much higher chance of being ready again when the Weenut does show up. You also have Kuki Shinobu built, which means you can leverage some Dendro teams. But let's see if you have any Dendro. Tighnari might be a character worth looking into, in my honest opinion. I'm not even memeing. He might be a character you might consider building up, because right now I can see you are lacking like a Dendro. You skipped Alhaitham, which is fine. You don't need Alhaitham. But building up Tighnari will likely help you a lot in the months to come, considering you don't have any Dendro DPS, right? So, and this character, I'm telling you, it's so straightforward. There's no mechanics you have to really learn. Let me see what kind of weapons you have. You have, okay, me. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, I think you can just use the Hamayumi on him. That's fine. And who knows? You might even end up getting constellations for him as you pull for future characters. Yeah, like I know you don't have ideal weapons for him, but it's fine. Temporarily, you can run this. It'll be okay, right? Let me see if you have yeah, you can also run slingshot. Which is kind of meme. Yeah, slingshot is fine. So like it's up to you how you want to like build, if you want to invest into a slingshot for Tighnari or how you want to play. Anyway, Holocaust and my Kaching will make you happy. Or yeah, let's take a look at your Kaching. Oh, you have Miss Splitter. Okay. So that makes things a little easier for your Ayaka. Like her scaling is a bit better. So yeah, you do have Miss Splitter. 64,221. That's nice. Kaching, you see, Kaching is like the opposite. Okay, Triple Crown. Look at Kaching. Kaching is like the opposite of Ayaka. Kaching is all about cycling through her burst as fast as you can and keeping this up. And this is like a big DPS that she can. So like for her, she like very well likely could get her burst back for every time the Weenet shows up. You know. But I see you're also low on Mora. Damn, this is really the struggle, isn't it? You're running Thundering Fury, which is cool. Ooh, nice. Oh, this is, yeah, you can win this. You can get more strong boxes and work towards this. It's nice. And that's nice. Overall, it's fine. The thing with Kaching is like she can work, but she's definitely not ideal to be like your main focus. Like even though she's gotten much better through Dendro, she's still very much lacking in sectors when it comes to like just overall DPS check. She is struggling to clear the 36 like DPS check threshold. You can do it though, like you can do it, but she does need some help from the other team, which means that's also another way to say that at times she can become a liability in your team comp. Is Kaching better than Sino? Well, you see, Kaching and Sino kind of excel at different things. In my opinion, when it's like a prolonged fight against a boss, single target, Sino is going to be better. Like a prolonged fight, meaning you're not going to be able to one-shot the enemies, right? When you can one-shot the enemies or like one-cycle the enemies, Kaching feels better because Kaching has a larger AoE. On top of that, she has a much easier time cycling through her hard-hitting burst, whereas Sino, right, has like if you switch out of Sino, you lose your burst and you have to regain it again. So during that time, he can't really compete with Kaching's high DPS output, which is very consistent. Kaching can almost infinitely cycle through her DPS, like her perfect DPS cycle can be cycled through like infinitely, and that comes with iframing, that comes with a lot of mobility, that comes with like charge attack. So the only threshold and bottleneck on Kaching sometimes is stamina, meaning if you're cycling through endlessly with your stamina and you're just charge attacking, at times it can run dry, but then you can also try to get some back by leveraging the iframe of her burst skill to also get back some of her stamina, right? And there are other play around. You can use like 3 normal 1 charge attack combo to kind of get some stamina back. That way there's plenty of ways to play around that issue. So like in my opinion, Kaching is a more flexible character, but she's kind of like she's not really up there when it comes to keeping up in extreme situations, whereas Sino in extreme situations such as boss fights, one-on-ones, he's really good, in my opinion. After playing both of them, like the thing is, Sino, if you want to fight groups of enemies, you can also link them with Nahida. It's just Kaching is hitting every single enemy in the vicinity with the burst, whereas Sino has to wait for his elemental skill, his boom boom. Normally he's just attacking whatever is in front of him. Now if it happens that all the enemies are just sitting right in front of you, sure, he's fine, but most of the time you're not going to be hitting every enemy. Yeah, and Sino sucks on multi-wave enemies, which has always, like, it's always been around the Abyss. Like, look at the, remember the one with the 4, it was the last Abyss with the 4 Ruin Guards, and they just take turns spawning in. Stuff like that really messes with Sino. Sino overall is the better character though, like I'm not denying that. It's just that he has too many situations where he feels kind of bad to play, if that makes sense, right? Whereas Kaching, in my opinion, even against bosses, sure, she's not like as good as Sino, but I don't ever feel like I'm restricted to play her in any sort of way. If I want to play her as a consistent on-field DPS, I could. If I want to play her as a quick swap DPS, I could. If I want to play her as an alt CC, like alt bot, I could. Right? Like it's just, if I want to play her, like I honestly even want to say as a hyper carry, you could. Obviously, she's not like the ideal hyper carry, but you could. You can funnel a lot into her. And it's much easier getting constellations for Kaching. So depending on, like, if you have a C0 Sino and you have a C4, C5 Kaching, your Kaching likely is going to be outperforming him because of constellations. Right? Like, even though her constellations aren't anything crazy, but it makes up for her lack of scaling. Severely lack of scaling compared to limited 5 stars in her constellations. Right? Yeah, Kaching is more flexible, but she loses a bit of DPS for that. And of course, she's a standard banner character. Don't forget that. We are right now comparing a limited banner 5 star to a standard banner 5 star. Right? The only similarities they have is they share the same type of playstyle, similar type of playstyle. But if the question is, Walrus, should I get Kaching or should I get Sino, or which one should I be looking into? My honest to God answer to you is Kaching. And I'll explain why. Because Sino, if you want to get constellations, first and foremost, you're going to have to actually target that. Kaching, over the years that you play the game, will slowly age up to just get better and better and better and better, because you're bound to get constellations of her here and there over, let's say, like a 10-year period if you're playing this game for that long. Right? Sino, you have to specifically go out of your way to hunt for his constellations. Now, people keep saying, Walrus is a free-to-play game, constellations don't matter. Well, for Kaching it does, because for her to rival characters like Sino, you do need constellation. Like you just do. Right? C0 Kaching, C0 Sino. Unfortunately for Kaching, right, Sino takes the dub very, very easily. Glitch says, if you are hitting his elemental skill in proper time on his ultimate, he has AoE. But you see, Glitch, there's too many variables. Glitch variable. There's too many variables for Sino. Like, you have to hit it when the symbol comes up, right? But what if the monsters just aren't like in the perfect position for you during that split second moment, right? It's so situational. That's why Sino is awkward. Like, yes, he can do AoE, but you have to also be positioned in an area where the mobs are around you, right? Because that's the AoE. What if the mobs are in front of you and there's one like way far behind you shooting arrows at you? What if there's one, right? Sure, Keqing wouldn't be able to do that as well, but Keqing has much less problems using her burst for just 2 enemies. Are you gonna use Sino's burst if it's just like 2 enemies, right? Like, you're just gonna have to find a way to kill them. You're not gonna use Sino's burst just to kill the last 2 enemies. There are many, like, I'm telling you guys, on paper, you guys think, oh, Sino's this, Sino's that, but like in actuality, in the actual practice, when you're playing the game, you're in Spiral Abyss, there are like endless amount of scenarios where it just makes Sino feel so damn awkward. Oh, his burst just ended, and now there's like maybe like a bigger enemy that's at half health. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna have to use his burst again if you don't want to like waste another minute just killing that thing without his burst. Sino is a burst reliant character, which means that if you don't time his burst like really, really well, you are going to be punished simply because he relies on his burst. And his burst is just hella annoying to stack up. Keqing is a much less like, there's almost no way to punish Keqing. Discord. Let's see. Hutao is work in progress. Got her 3.4. Yaya built. Try play Mr. Ayaka. Never liked how it feels. Was you can go through my teams if you want. Couple teams I have our work progress. Yep. I think. Wait, what? Oh, is it midnight or like 1 a.m. for you guys over there? This is an EU account. Maybe Keqing doesn't need Zhongli. You can get a Hyper Bloom kind of going, no? Can you? No? Can you? Maybe not. Like, in my opinion, this might play a little better, but yeah, I don't think it'll work. Yeah, she's not good in. I know Keqing's not good in Hyper Bloom. That's one of the downfalls she has. I think Keqing, if she were to be better, like more suitable for Hyper Bloom, she would actually rival Sino even better. Yeah, this is a good team. Let me see. It's also unfortunate how characters like Ganyu want like Zhongli here, because ideally you can even get rid of Zhongli for Kazuha, right? That would be pretty cool. Getting rid of Zhongli for Venti. Like, imagine a scenario where you can do this with Venti here and then have Ganyu charge shot and burst skill hit everybody inside there for like melt with Nahida's EM buffing. Ooh. Ooh. That's actually that's pretty juiced. But unfortunately, Hoyoverse doesn't want that. They don't want that. Oh, you got Hazel with Faruzan. Nice. What constellation? Can I see here what constellation is your Faruzan? C0. Kazraken is why everyone I watch want to get rid of Zhongli. Well, here's the thing, right? Because this person's account right now, they want more consistency in 36 star in the Abyss. That's a requirement. So right now, and I can tell the biggest issue for this account is that they're failing to meet the DPS checks. That's the problem. They're failing the DPS checks. So as a result of that, what can we do? We have to find a way to funnel more damage. And yes, in many scenarios, while Zhongli brings stability, he is a damage loss. Because there are better options in this position that could, like, for example, if you bring in Kazuha, actually, no joke, just bring in Kazuha. What am I thinking? Right? This is a damage gain. So the thing is, I'm also wondering, do you have Raiden Shogun? You do not. I don't know how Raiden would be beneficial here, so not sure. Yeah, I play Zhongli here because I know. I'm just thinking of the perfect scenario, right? Like if you're like playing it perfectly. But yeah, the problem with Yaimiko is she takes 1 billion years to set up her turret, so it's very hard to say you're gonna iframe with her because most of the time she is going to get hit. And for Abyss 12, yeah, and you need her here for the additional like off-field damage because Keqing herself. Let's say if you just run Zhongli with Kazuha, like Keqing, especially a C2 Keqing cannot do it. Maybe a C6 like maxed out Keqing can do it by herself and meet all the DPS checks. A C2 Keqing just won't be able to handle it. Yeah, so you just got Hu Tao in 3.4, and I'm gonna tell you, like, for reals, where is she? For reals, I think this team, you will come to love this team. Alright? If you are somebody who likes consistency, who likes, like, just who likes a good team and who enjoys crushing the enemies, you're gonna come to love this team. Get Hu Tao to level 90, get Yelan to level 90. You need level 90 for all of them because all of them does damage. Got C6 Xingqiu, nice. Got a nice sack sword on there, nice. Really good. You got the artifacts to show for as well. Heck, Hydro. Yep. So overall, I think your Hu Tao team, you'll, like, trust me, give it, like, once you level her up and all this stuff, I mean, you already leveled her up. And I would even say go as far as triple crowning her. You don't need her cons. Okay. Oh, artifacts. Let's take a look at your Hu Tao artifacts. Nice. I was gonna say, if you have Shimenawa, where's Shimenawa? If you have a good Shimenawa set, you can also use it for her as well. But I see you do not, which is fine. This is completely fine. Okay. $31.2k health. The dragon's being in the Hydro Pyro by 36%. Like, it's unfortunate. Like, yes, EM does benefit Hu Tao. Don't get me wrong, EM is good, but this weapon is also going to be like a big bottleneck for her because Hu Tao mechanic wise isn't too difficult to master in my opinion. Like, but you're going to be doing a lot of jump canceling, right? You're going to be doing a lot of jump canceling. dash canceling is just not going to be available for you for the most part. So jump canceling, you're not going to be able to get as many hits in. So overall, yes, it is a DPS loss without C1. A lot of people want to say C1 Hu Tao doesn't give you more damage, but it does. But it does. It does, and it gives a little more than most people would think. And also the flexibility of that playstyle also means that you're going to have a much easier time. So in most scenarios, a C0 Hu Tao can still clear all the barriers and the DPS checks. It's just in those very unique situations, maybe like 10-15% of the situations, you're going to fail because you don't have C1. I play on controller, so jump cancel is not too hard for me. Okay, yeah. As long as jump canceling is not too hard of a mechanic, you need to get used to it. Cycling through Hu Tao teams is... Do you have a C0 Zhongli? Yeah, C0. So without C2 Zhongli, your shielding is also going to be much more tight, right? You're going to have to play around his elemental skill cooldown. And your Zhongli, actually, let me take a look. Favonius Lance, very nice. A triple HP. Nice. Triple HP. Okay. Yelan is... Yelan got some really good artifacts though. 7145. Yeah, that's good. I'm actually curious how your Hu Tao is performing. Oh, what? Oh. I was like, where did it go? 34 stars. Where are you missing your last 2 stars? Is it all on the Weenut? It cannot be, right? There's no way. I think you're missing 1 from each. Maybe like chamber 2, chamber 3, or chamber 1 and chamber 3. Oh, it's both in chamber 3. Ooh. Hu Tao in this part does a really good job. But unfortunately, then you're like, the problem with this is like, do you have a character that can really take advantage of the... Have you tried Keqing? Like I know like he has super high resistances to the Dendro stuff, but like I'm just curious how well Keqing can do. Benny Xiangling first half. Unfortunately, this Xiangling is at C1, which is like, it's still doable. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still doable. It's just that it puts a lot more stress on it. Hyper bloom it. Cookie. So Nahida Cookie and then Kokomi. Double Hydro is all taken. No, I don't. I want to try a more traditional team. I don't know if Keqing meets the requirements. Yeah, Weenut's full cycle is about 2 minutes, 10 seconds. That's how much time you need. Yeah, so you gotta finish the first half in like 50 seconds. So you have 50 seconds to beat the first half. Right? You gotta beat this in 50 seconds or less. Ayaka can work, but I think Ayaka will not be able to, like, especially this Ayaka will not be able to kill the Weenut in two cycles. Doesn't Yai target underground? Actually, that's interesting. I've never really looked into it, so I'm not sure. For me, I was able to beat this with Dendro. Believe it or not, I 36 starred this with Dendro for the Weenut. Let's see if I can show you guys the footage. because it's much easier to show you guys. I don't even remember because I used Al-Haytham to do it. Let me see here. Is it this abyss? I think it's this abyss. Nope, it's not this one. It's this one. God damn it. Wait a minute, it's not this one. Did I not record it? Well, I swear I recorded it. Oh, that's awkward. Did I? Oh, maybe I recorded it, but I haven't saved it in like, oh no, then it's gonna be no. That's awkward.
Yeah, that's the kind of attitude I want. Hi guys, how are y'all?
Oh wait, I think it's this one. I was like, look, I cleared it while watching YouTube. That's how insane. I think this is the one. Yeah, I think I found it. Yeah. I was literally watching YouTube on the side. Sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry, I found it. So I was watching YouTube. I think it's more towards the end, right? Yeah. So go more back. Let's just look at the chamber 3 clear. I don't even remember specifically what I did. But I died once because my Hu Tao had no shield and I was like still dashing through, right? So, and I'll tell you guys, my Yelan still could be worked on. My Xingqiu is like level 70, right? The only thing that benefits me is that my Zhongli is C4, so like Zhongli applies a shield very easily, so that can save me a couple seconds here and there. Did I die here? Maybe I did. Maybe this is where I died. I don't remember. Oh no, this time I learned to reshield. Yeah, this time I was not stupid. So as you guys can see, I'm not even doing a sub 50-second clear. I think I even go below 9 minutes here. Right. So I mean, it's just around 57 seconds, and then this is the Wee Nut part. Wee Nut only took me 1 try. It's this. I'll be honest. Apart from fighting this thing in the world boss, I don't think I've ever learned its mechanics. The fighting it in the overworld was not too difficult. But as you guys can see, like I'm not doing anything too crazy here. A lot of the damage was done during its first, like this phase. So it's like 8 minutes. I have a minute and a half to kill this thing before the time runs out. Okay, if it's fallen. So I lead with... Yeah, okay. Okay, so I didn't even manage to kill it. Yeah, so for the next 50 seconds, it's just battling, just battling this back. Well, like, yeah, like now looking at it, like maybe Ayaka can work. I think Ayaka can do similar amounts of damage. It's just is this person's Hu Tao team able to dish out the damage during that time frame? To buy like because I think that the person that I saw the Hu Tao is likely going to take a little long. So I cleared it with 20 seconds to clear. See, now the question is, will this person's Ayaka team, right? Will this person's Ayaka team be able to leverage? Because I think the Hu Tao on this account will take a minute and 20 seconds to clear this. Right? So, Meholic is Discord. Part of my problem is that both my Dendro teams use Nahida. So if I run my Kaching team, my Ayato Hyper Bloom will be a lot worse. You can try the Abyss on my account if you want to. Yeah, we can try it, but I'm just trying to see. I think the way is to go with the Hu Tao team, even though I think Hyper Bloom would just be more consistent. So Hu Tao here, and then a Cryo team here. Right? It would be pretty easy. But I see the Cryo team over here also feels like it's going to... I don't know. It should be okay. But we might not be able to, you know, crush through it. And ideally, you want Yelan, Xingqiu, and Hu Tao all at level 90 to ooze out as much DPS as humanly possible. But... I think all your artifacts are on, right, chat? Do you guys want to see if we can try to 36 start? It might be tough. It might be tough. I'll be honest with you guys. I am... Oh no. Almost forgot. This weapon, or I think we need the Mist Splitter. We'll get the Mist Splitter back, right? Can we 36 star? We can do it on my whale account, but can we 36 star the Abyss on this viewer's account? Like a low spender account. She will lack energy. Yes, she will. 100% she will. And I have to remember that Hu Tao is C0, Zhongli is C0, so I cannot play the Hu Tao the way I play my Hu Tao. And I'm on 155 ping, which might mess with my animation cancel, but it should be fine. Yes, I'm already making excuses before I start because I need something to fall back on, chat. Relax. Where's Shinhe? I must be... Okay, there she is. Kokomi and Kazuha. Okay. It feels weird not even using the Hida. But hey. Kokomi is a DPS loss. That is for sure. But I need Kokomi so I can clear the other chambers. We'll see. We need that. My god. For Ayaka. Oh my goodness. Did I mess that up? My characters didn't swap over. Oh no! Do the jump cancel. Oh no, I'm so bad at jump canceling. When all else fails, just cycle through your skills as fast as humanly possible. Okay, hello, buddy. You know this guy. I'm trying to save my Hu Tao's thing for his I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm just so focused on this thing. I'm saving Hu Tao's thing for, and I think I can just auto attack him. Man, this attack speed reduction thing is really annoying. Come on. You know what? I'm just gonna dash cancel a little bit here because... Okay, so what was that 1 minute 30? That was kind of... Oh, whoa. That was kind of slow. You see, that last bit of Ayaka's thing just doesn't hit this. Bro, come on, man. No. Oh, we're not gonna make it. We're not gonna make it. We're not gonna make it for this one. Bro, if we're failing DPS check here, how are we gonna meet the requirement for the DPS later? If we're failing this DPS check, how on earth are we gonna meet the check later? That's what I'm worried about. Then again, it might just be the specific mechanic of these two floors. So maybe we can do it. Who knows? This is also one of those situations where, like, I wish I could just use Ayaka's burst to kill this thing, but at the same time, we need to make sure Ayaka's burst is ready for the second chamber. We'll see. Okay. Well, I guess the whole point here is to 36 star through the third chamber. So let's see which one is going to help us the best. Healing, I don't think we need that. Don't think we need that. Elemental skill damage plus 20%. We will take that. We're actually getting some good cards. Ah, yes, this thing. Hello. There you go. Like, Hu Tao really enjoys... Oh, I keep forgetting. Hu Tao really enjoys these bosses. Let's go into his other phase. We're just gonna iframe it. Did I iframe it? I don't even know. And Hu Tao is Come on, bro. Hu Tao. Girl. I cancel like 3 attacks. I'll just... And I frame that. I honestly feel like this is one of the easier bosses. Okay, that's very straightforward. Very straightforward. Nice. See, again, this is when I really wish I could just use Ayaka's burst again. But unfortunately, we need to save it for later. Okay. So, this thing. God damn it. Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. No. No. Kazuha, heal, baby, heal. Kazuha, heal. Okay, get some heals. Get some heals. Hut. Hut. Okay. So that one 3, like that one 3-star was pretty easy. For the Wii Nut. Wii Nut! Okay. I don't even want to try the Wii Nut if we cannot get like a sub, like around a 1 minute clear. So let's see. The last card, which one should we get? I think this one. I think this one. Sure, this one can help us with like Hu Tao side clear, but then Ayaka literally sprints for a living. Okay, Ayaka sprints for a living. Actually, you know what? We'll try this. Because Hu Tao can also sprint. I can do a dash cancel. Right? You guys ready? I keep having to remember to hold E afterwards because... Sprint? Come on, baby girl. Yes. Yes. Very nice. Okay. We've done this. We've done this before. We'll do it again. I'm gonna freeze myself because I'm... Alright, we just reapply our shield before going to Hu Tao because or else she will die, most likely. We jump cancel. We jump... Oh, forgot the dash. Come on. Oh, the attack speed. The attack speed keep off. No. We don't have a sub-minute. Now I'm starting to wonder, is it even possible to get a sub-minute with this? You know, I'm not going to even cancel anymore because at this point, it's just easier to not cancel. Chat, is it even going to be possible to do the Wii Nut? Is it even possible? I want to see how much damage we do in one cycle. I just want to see. Okay. Okay, here it comes. Oh. 2 cycles would be doable though. 2 cycles would be doable. Okay. Oh. Hmm. Okay. Well then. I'm gonna not use Xingqiu's thing later. We'll see if that helps. And also we need to centralize these things as well. So we need to... Ah, that's how my Hu Tao died last time. I forgot to re-shield. I think Zhongli's shield should come in last before my Hu Tao's So Zhongli's shield should come in at the very end. Before I go to Hu Tao, or else a lot of the shield is wasted. Wait, am I just not critting? What is going on? I don't think I got a single crit there. What the hell? That was like... That's no crit. That's 1 crit. Oh my god. Zhongli's pillar is stealing Hydro. Right. Because crystallize is useless, right? who wants crystallize? Crystallize OP. What the fuck, Kuta? I just don't think it's possible. I don't... It's the same time because the Hu Tao is just... It's just not doing enough. It's just not doing enough. The fact that I cannot dash cancel to reposition my Hu Tao to also skewer them, like when I would need to, is also slightly problematic. I don't know. 1 minute 37 seconds. So we only have 1 cycle to do it. I don't know. We can chip away at it like this. Actually, during this phase, this is the, what, second or third jump out? Can't we try Ayaka's burst? Oh no, because then right afterwards, right, this comes out. No. This is even worse than what we did last time. Maybe we can get 35 stars, but it seems like 36 stars is just not possible. I'm pretty sure we can get 35. I'm just gonna try this. That's as low as we can get it. You know what? Wait, chat. But wait! I have an idea. But wait! Oh, come on, man. Really? No. Ah, when it's just one of you, it's a little easier to deal with, no? I guess the time is the same. I think it's even slower. Because I didn't get to skewer them this time. Last time I actually got a couple skewer in. It's even slower. I want to see if I can do it maybe in 65 seconds. I think this one's better. I think this card's actually better. Bro! No! This is sad because I can't get access to all of Hu Tao's damage. I can't even use all of her charge attacks before its stamina is gone. Oh crap! I forgot. See, I have to skewer. Hey, wait a minute. Hold up a second. Hold up a second. Chat? Is this the run? Oh, the stars have aligned, baby. No. Okay. Okay. What do we have? What do we have? Okay, I need to sit up for this. This is the one chance the RNG has aligned for us for that fight. We have an extra 10 seconds to work with. We might be able to weasel it. Okay, the rotation is Kazuha, Shinhe, Kokomi, Ayaka. Okay. Kazuha, and I'm gonna take a gamble and try out the new strat. Where is he? This one. I'm just gonna straight up go for it. Okay. I know it's kind of wasted, but let's see if it pays off here. Because I want Ayaka's burst back for the next... See, look! The burst is back! So Shinhe, Ayaka. No. Okay. The burst is almost back. Okay, the burst is back for this cycle again. Where is he coming up? Okay, not this one, the next one. Okay, where is he coming up? Where is he coming up next? Where is he? He's right here. Please. No! No! Oh no! That was... You need, like, we need literally 2 perfect side runs. And you know what's the biggest problem is that Ayaka isn't getting the full buff from her artifact set. Like, Ayaka, because the Weenut isn't completely frozen, I cannot get the benefit of Ayaka's 4-piece set. So, like, you'll see, like, I'm actually crit fishing for Ayaka. But I think I figured out the Hu Tao side here. The trick really is to not waste a lot of time on Xingqiu's thing. Oh, that is tragic. Look, I'm just gonna not use Xingqiu's elemental skill starting now, right? What? Did I not shield? Okay, the plan is to never use Xingqiu's elemental. Bench Gamer says, is Abyss too easy? It's too easy for like me, who like I've tailored my account to be able to 36 star the Abyss fairly effortlessly, right? Like that's like my one benchmark is like, okay, can I 36 star the Abyss easily? Okay, yes I can. Okay, then then it's fine. But it's very difficult for people who are just getting into the game, that's for sure. Or people who kind of pour their resources a little too sparingly. If that, oh, I used too many. So the trick here I found is to not use Xingqiu, surprisingly, not use Xingqiu's for some reason it just helps a lot because it gives us a lot more time to work with, right? We still use his burst if we can get it, but don't use his thing because we get frozen. See? We can shave off a couple more seconds here. I'm not going to even go into Xingqiu because we're just going to go straight for this. Okay, we bought ourselves a couple seconds, but it's like, it's not enough, I feel like. It's not enough. And there's a lot of resistance it has over here when it's like diving in and out of the ground. So it's like, is it even worth it? Okay, we got a decent chunk off here. Burst is back. Oh, got the 3 hits. Now here comes a big one, right? What? When is the big one coming? Let's go. No. Here's the big one. No? Wait. Wait, Weenut. Weenut. That's not part of... What? Yo, bro, you're just breaking all the rules. Come on! No! Oh, that HP though. I feel like we can do it. I feel like if we just have little better, like... Don't you guys feel it? Like, don't you guys feel it? It's possible. It's possible. It's just like 10 more seconds. Can we get 10 more seconds out of Hu Tao's half? If we get 10 more seconds out of Hu Tao's half, we can do it. And I didn't know the Weenet could frickin' do the in and out thing for like forever. If we got the actual like if man, it's so frustrating, right? Like, it's doable. Come on, yes, good crits! Good crits, baby! Yes. Yes, we got some nice crits. It's good. Alright, this is a good freeze? No! No, 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 no. Bro, I take my C2 Zhongli for granted, honestly. Good crits? Good crits? Oh, no, no crit? Okay. Maybe get a heal off. Did I? Okay, I got the same situation going on here. It's gonna try to trap me. Zhongli. Okay. Get the Yelan thing going. 2, 1, burst. Xingqiu. Okay, I'll do 1 and burst. I need the damage. Okay, now keep them in place. Oh no, I don't think this is the one. No, this is not the one. This is not the one. Oh. Look, if Hu Tao had C1, we can do it. I'm saying it right now. If this Hu Tao had C1, or maybe if it had Staff of Homa, we can do this. Because I think if we had C1 or Staff of Homa, you can play around different mechanics. Well, not different mechanics for Staff of Homa, but Staff of Homa just gives the raw damage. So we're just like, you see, like, this is not like a skill thing. What I'm doing is not hard. It's a pure stat check. It is a pure stat check, in my honest opinion. Wait a minute, this is a pretty damn good start. I'm just gonna skip. What if I skip Xingqiu? Like, just skip Xingqiu's burst. Will I? Like, what if I just take turns using their burst? So now I use Xingqiu's burst. Would that shave off enough seconds? I don't know. That still looked like 8:45. I think 8:45, maybe 8:50 is like the best we can get. Skip Zhongli's burst. Okay, we'll try this side and see if we can fish for some good crits. Okay, that's a crit. Okay, didn't get that last hit. We need to go over here. I kind of missed my window here, in my opinion. Okay, that's a decent chunk. Burst is back. We got 1 minute. Yo. That one didn't crit. Come on, dude. Do your thing. Did I miss? No. Okay, that one hit. Wait. Oh, I messed up. Ah, man. So let's try this. Let's try just cycling through one of them. So my plan is alternating between Yelan and Xingqiu during the lava trolls part, and of course not using Zhongli's burst anymore. So let's see if that works. But the start, I'm gonna do both because I want to get the damage to kill this thing as fast as I can. While it's also trying to kill me as fast as it can. Okay, there's not enough time for Hu Tao's elemental skill. Wait a minute, chat. Wait a minute, chat. Wait a minute, chat. Oh my god. That was a... This is the run. This is the run. Now we actually gotta fish for some good crits. Okay, we got the Viridescence on it. Didn't crit! It didn't crit! Got the full burst. Okay, we got the full burst. Crit! Crit! You! I don't know, chat. I don't know what to say. Come on, this one. Crit! Crit! Yes! Okay, got the crit. Okay. 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 No crit. Okay. Because the game hates me. Okay, we got nice crits there. Come on. No. No. Not like this. Not like this. No. Honestly, I blame the crits. I honestly blame the crits. We missed like 4 crits, and I'll be honest to God, I did mess up the oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'll be honest, I did mess up the rotations a little bit here and there. So we can do this. Isn't it funny how the fact that we have to like cut out so much of the animation stuff because they're like a general DPS loss is just hilarious to me. I don't know if you guys find it funny as well, but like it's pretty hilarious to me how I just missed my entire burst. It's not as good of a run as the last one, I think. Nah, we can't work with that. We can't work with that. To be honest though, like if you really evaluate Hu Tao's damage, look at my run and look at this run. Although my run is not nearly as optimized as this, to be honest with you guys. Remember, I was like watching YouTube on the side and it was fine. Okay, I even got some pyro hits in here. Oh, the skewer? The skewer? The skewer? Dude, the skewer. One of the most satisfying things as a Hu Tao main to do. 48 seconds. But I don't think the seconds, these like 6 seconds is going to... Just use Xiangling easy. This person's Xiangling is at C1. C1. Okay, okay. I think I missed. Come on, please, crit. Please, crit. Okay, that's a crit. I'll take that. That was pretty damn good. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Not like this. No. Is it gonna do the flying thing again? Oh, it is. No, I won't make it. Will I make it? Not with that attitude, I won't. No. Ah. You know what's funny? We are 10 seconds off. We are 10 seconds off, and I refuse to believe that with enough grind and RNG, you cannot farm that 10 seconds. I refuse to believe. 10 seconds is a small enough margin, in my honest opinion, that you could do it. You know, look at this. You know where that 10 seconds can come from? You know where? Look, I'll show you. I said this even before we started attempting this. Level 80 Yelan, level 80 Hu Tao, and level 80 Xingqiu. This is that 10 seconds right there, in my opinion. You can get that 10 seconds right here. And Hu Tao talents can go higher. If these three are level 90, all three of them level 9, which yes, it costs a lot more, but it's very free to play attainable. If they're level 90, and on top of that, look, I'm playing on 157 ping. This is an EU account. If they can get better Hu Tao animation cancels, cleaner animation cancels, is doable. Just remember the things we did. Once the lava trolls appear, alternate between Yelan and Xingqiu. Don't go to both of their bursts and use them at the same time. Don't use Zhongli's burst because it takes too much animation time. Zhongli's shield comes right before you go to Hu Tao, and then only use one of these characters' burst skill, Xingqiu or Yelan. And you should have a very smooth first half clear. And then the Weenut is literally just like doing your best to fish for Ayaka crits. Yeah. So if you really want the 36 star this Abyss, your account can achieve it. It's doable. Right? Yeah, your Dragon's Bane's already maxed out level. If you have the extra Mora to spare, you can, this one I think. Get her, like this one. Yeah, get her elemental skill. Get her charge attack too, I believe, to level 9. Both of these to level 9. Get them all to level 90 and you can 36 star it. Probably with about like an hour of trial and error. Okay? Yeah, so this is like a very free-to-play attainable goal for you. Thankfully, you already have the key components. All the characters are here. And we got it down to 10 seconds of, like, trust me, if you give me the whole evening sitting here, I promise you I can 36 star this Abyss. Like, after that run, I know for a fact, if you give me like 6-7 hours probably, sitting here just non-stop trying, there's a chance that I can do it. Or, no, there's a very, very high chance that I can do it. Yeah, so if you want that, like, right, this is like the thing about Genshin, like, this is something that people can want to work towards. I want that last star in the Spiral Abyss, and then you can spend days, like, farming for it, working towards it. This is part of the game. In my opinion, it's pretty neat. Okay? So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have been at Xiangling, like Xiangling is C4 and above, you'll have an easier time maybe using Xiangling, less mechanical and just more straightforward, right? So that's also an option as well for you guys who are also stuck. Just know that the margins of error is pretty big, actually. Like, honestly, you can still make quite a lot of mistakes here and there, and you should be fine. The Weenut is annoying because of its multi phase. This is where, like, most of the time it's underground, you can't even hit it. But apart from that, like, just abuse the window where you can and really just use strong burst champions. Find and test things. For example, I realized I can actually use my Ayaka's burst, right? In one of the mini phases where it pops out to shoot the lasers or whatever you call it. Like, just experiment with this kind of stuff and you're gonna find success. Okay? So that's all I gotta say for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in Wednesday's live stream. When is the Genshin 3.6 live stream? I think it's next Friday, right? Anime Holic tosses, am I at the point where it's time for vertical investment in your opinion? Yeah, I think you could start for vertical investment, or you could start investing a little more into weapon banners, like really high value weapon banners. So I see you got Hu Tao and also you have Yelan. So next time, if ever you see Hu Tao Yelan weapon is around, maybe you can consider hunting for that. Maybe considering for Hu Tao C1, Yelan C1, depends on how much you enjoy the characters. It's definitely something you can start considering in your account, right? You have some really good rosters that are all spread out across. You have, like, you have the coverage. Right now, you just need to make sure that, you know, they're all at the power level where you can always whip them out whenever you want and have success with them. So yeah. Okay, that's everything I wanted to say. Thank you guys so much, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna be interviewing some Honkai Star Rail players and making some videos for that. As I unfortunately could not get into the beta myself, but I will be interviewing them. I'll have them help me with creating proper lists of preparation. So if you guys are thinking of playing that game, just be on the lookout. I'll have a ton of videos maybe next week, right? Make a ton of them, just preparing, because I'm preparing for myself as well, so might as well do it for you guys. So I'm going to be scouring the internet for information, preparing, and everything I need to know, you guys need to know. I'm going to consolidate all the information that's across the interweb, make a couple videos for things you need to do before it goes live and things you need to do right as the game drops. All right? I know a lot of people say bad things about Honkai Star Rail, but honestly, I think it's just is the game's not even out yet. We'll see. All right. So bye bye.